I do want to thank Jody Hobbs, who is a hero of mine, and she's president of SEA. Thank you so much for everything you do, and everyone up here. Tom, Josh, you guys did an amazing job on the film. Thank you so much. And the real life people, Ben and Phil, having the courage to speak out. You're all heroes of mine. So I just want to say thank you. I also want to say, even though this is an emotional night, it's an emotional film, it's an emotional topic, for me, I'm feeling very happy right now. And I want to tell you why. To me, this is a night to celebrate. I want to share with you all a story. I was put into a drug rehab at age 14. It was a cult under the guise of a drug rehab, and the kids were being physically, psychologically, and sexually abused on a daily basis. And I got out after 2.5 years because I had to escape. We were in there completely cut off, incommunicado from the outside world, and my sister was in there as well. One of the things they did to control us was the use of restraint. First of all, restraint should never be used for therapy on a drug addiction. Okay, and I remember on a number of occasions being pinned down by 5 guys, all bigger than me, each holding on to a different limb. One on my leg, one on another leg, one on my arm, another arm, and the last one on my head, pinning me to the ground and suffocating me. It's one thing being abused yourself, but it's another thing. Like I said, my sister was in there, and on the other side of the room, I see her being abused. And there's nothing more painful than seeing someone you love with all your heart being abused, and there's nothing you could do about it. And I fought so hard, like, get the fuck off me. But I literally could not move, and I literally could not speak. All I wanted to do was protect her, and I couldn't. I truly had no voice. We had no voice in there. And I was always into filmmaking and the arts. And this kind of ties everything together. The one thing that kept me going day to day in the midst of all the abuse was me fantasizing about how I would turn my experience into a story, into a film. You know, there's so much power in story. By you speaking about your story, by you printing the story, by you writing the story, and by you putting the story out in a visual form. Story has the power to define and unite our humanity. So when I say tonight is a night to celebrate, we're no longer voiceless. And if we elucidate the narrative here, the Boston Globe gave voice to the voiceless. And in turn, this film is made. And because the film is made, this film has created an opportunity, a platform, not just for myself, but for all of you, a new generation, to have a voice and speak out and not be afraid. This film isn't just for the survivors of clergy abuse. This film represents the disenfranchised everywhere, no matter what you went through. So give yourself a round of applause for that, please. I'll tell you guys a brief story. When I got out, a couple years ago, this is also why it's so important, talking about journalists and the media. First of all, you could go online, you could watch a PSA of George Bush saying, send your kids to Straight. Straight will save lives. Straight is one of the most abusive rehab chains in U.S. history. And it was run by Virgil Miller Newton. He moved over and opened up kids. Same philosophy, same coercive therapy, pseudo-therapy, and the kids continue to be abused. And it was funded by Mel and Betty Sembler, who are key Republican fundraisers, and to this day, they still wear what they did with straight and with kids as a badge of honor. Okay? They're proud of it. Okay? What we're dealing with is we have people who are supposed to be authorities, who appear as authorities. And we take what they say at face value. If the President of the United States is saying, send your kid to this place, you think, oh, okay, maybe it's good. And maybe I'll send it there. You know, as parents, you have a responsibility, and us as adults, not just in this country, but in our home, planet Earth, to do our due diligence and to protect our kids. I go on, a couple of years ago, I go on Dr. Phil. On his show, he has sent kids away to this rehab chain, which, listen, in straight, in kids, where I was, I never heard about anyone dying. You know, we were abused, but we actually left there alive, okay? This rehab chain that Dr. Phil has sent many kids to, 5 kids have died there. Girls have been sexually abused. So I go on his show as a guest, and I know they have power over the edit. And he says, before I get into my my next guest, I just want my audience members at home to know that the places I recommend on my show are properly vetted. How can you say that? This, his brand, if you watch his commercials, the most trusted man in America. How are they properly vetted if 5 kids have died? Died. They do not have a voice. I call him out on it. And, you know, I don't blame him. Maybe he didn't know, and I bring this to his attention. And what they do, of course, is they edit it out. They take it out. On the version that aired, it's not in there. I'm trying to have a voice for myself, and my voice is trying to give voice to the voiceless, the literally voiceless, who are no longer here. And then there I am in the media, and again silenced. This is what we're dealing with. That's why I especially appreciate what you guys have done. And you did a tremendous amount of research to really get the story right. I like to look at, this is my last comment, I like to look at nature. Because nature, we can't debate nature. Nature is absolute, right? And what is the natural law of the reflection? If you look in the mirror, if you look at your reflection, and you frown, what does the mirror get back to you? A frown. If you look in the mirror and you smile, what does the mirror get back to? A smile. Okay? And everyone around, the whole universe, this is the reflection of ourselves. And if I hope we can accomplish one thing here today, which quite frankly has already happened through the power of this film, is if we smile at you and give you love and talk about this, if I could look out and smile at 300 people, and then in turn these 300 people cannot be afraid and look out and smile at 300 more people, and then there's a positive ripple effect that happens because of it. Same thing with the film, and that's why I love film, and that's why I love making films, and I'm making my definitive film on the topic of institutional abuse later on this year, is because it has the power to reach people and cultures all over the world, and I know not just myself, because this film has touched my heart, and I've spoken to people and it has touched many people's hearts, that it continues to do so, and that we're able to share this film and share your stories and not be afraid for many years to come. There is power in numbers. That's really all I have to say. Thank you all so much.